Monday Mix-Up with DJ and Dan. What are we
Yeah,
going to talk about today? That's the thing, DJ. We
never
don't
know.
know till after the intro.
To the HPLS podcast. Live, relevant, and high performance information, conversations, and education weekly.
All right,
All
DJ. Happy
right.
Monday morning,
Yes.
brother. In the spirit of flying by the seat of our pants and and and
Like,
helping everybody understand that we don't always discuss what we're going to talk about. We thought it would be fun if every Monday morning we bring you the Monday Mix-Up, which consists of DJ and I rambling about one of these topics. Now, as you can see here, for all of you watching live or on a replay, these are all index cards. For those of you listening on the podcast, I've got about an inch and a half worth of index cards here. Each one of them has a different topic. So every Monday morning, what we're going to do is we're just going to spin this wheel here, and DJ is going to say stop, and wherever DJ stops is the topic we pick. So if the topic sucks, you know who to talk to.
it, it's it's on me. No, just kidding. I didn't write them.
All
I'm
right.
just picking. I didn't write them.
Yeah. Exactly. And then what we're going to do is each time we talk about one, I'm going to highlight it with a pink highlighter or something, so we know we've talked about it on the show. And
Good
then
idea.
from that point forward, we won't talk about the same thing maybe 2 weeks in a row. That'd be a good
Yeah,
idea. So
that
since we
probably.
haven't, we've actually done a few of these, so we might actually let's see how the old
Let's see the luck in the draw, right?
let's
The
see.
luck in the
Ready?
draw. Let's see.
All right, you ready,
Uh,
DJ?
let's do it. Uh, stop. Right there. Right there. Right there. Um,
Oh, what a good choice for this Monday morning.
really.
Why do clients buy from you? Oh, what a good
Oh
topic.
man.
Eh?
Okay. I
Okay,
like
so
that. Yes. Yes. Okay.
yes, there we go. Today's topic, why do clients buy from you? So what I did here, DJ, is on every one of these topics, I write kind of two or three things down that kind of hits us when you and I are talking about it, right? So in this one, we're going to talk about three different things about why clients buy from you. With all the options in today's market, why you? What makes you different? How can you lead with that and start bringing the right people on the bus with you? And you know, it's really cool how you pick this topic because um, lately I find most of my conversations are about why clients are buying from you. And let me explain, because we're doing quite a big launch, as you know, into the corporate world, as opposed
Yeah.
to people to people. It's like business to business selling instead.
Yeah.
Starting to have a lot of conversation with CEOs, with VPs of sales about, why clients buy from us. And not only that, well, I've got 48% increase in sales. I've done 110% increase in sales. And understanding that, it's like my second question becomes, okay, but are these capacity sales? Like, I'm sure a
Exactly.
lot of us in today's market are finding that, you know, capacity is kind of driving the business we get. And just like 2018, if you had trucks or you were able to buy a truck, you typically had the freight that went with it because you were the one that kind of, had that area. Um, I'm finding a lot of clients in today's day are capacity clients.
Mm.
And my concern is, and it's a true concern, is that companies are okay with it because, like, business is good for the most part. I mean, I was very
Yeah.
surprised when I think it was Central Transport on the weekend. I read an article that they
I
were going out of
seen that.
business.
Yeah, I
Like,
wanted to
like I
talk
was
about that.
so
Oh my goodness.
surprised. Like, yeah, and I mean, and I guess there'll be more, but they're winding business down. So that could, in the article it said they've lost money for a couple of years, which
That's just
listen,
like the
LTL
Celadon.
market's a killer market, right? Like,
It's just like the
but
Celadon thing, though. Same,
well,
same
but I
thing.
mean, the Celadon was 2019, right? Which
Yeah, I
was
know.
when
I
a
know.
lot of companies were going out of business. But if you look at the business from 2019 to today, like, everything's gone up in price, right?
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
a
Yeah. Yeah.
lower
The rate.
operating
Yeah. Yeah.
ratio,
Yeah.
right? Whereas, there was some companies in 2019 I heard as far as 110% operating ratio, meaning every dollar that came in, they had to pay $1.10 to earn that dollar. Like,
Jeez.
you know what I mean? So So when you look at that from operating ratio from asset-based carriers, that's a lose it. Like, I mean, hey, if you had to pay $1,000 a month or $1,000 a month to earn 800, it's very quickly that your company doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, in today's market, right? So why do clients buy from you? In today's market, like, we see so many new customers coming just because you have availability. So it's
Mhm.
capacity buying. And just like 2019, I'm consistently stressing to people and saying, like, just be careful, because 2019, we saw more bid packages come out than I've ever seen in my life in the
Yeah.
27, 28 years I've been in the
Yeah.
industry.
Yeah.
And in 2019, I think like maybe 3% of them were actually adhered to. Right.
Yeah.
So it's all great that we win this business, and it's all great that we our companies today are 48, 58% more. But when the proverbial tide shifts, right, and more assets start hitting the market, and now all of a sudden shippers are getting a lot smarter at shipping again. Like, we got a lot smarter in 2018. I think this
Yeah.
whole fractured supply chain over the last 24 months has truly made people completely rethink their logistics. Like,
Well,
I
well,
think structurally,
well,
from an infrastructure point of view, we need to, you know what I mean? Like, I just think we're
yeah. Yeah.
rethinking everything, brother.
Well, and let me ask you this. So obviously,
Mhm.
being newer to the industry than you, I don't have all the backstory, but I did clearly come in at the craziest time. I mean, I was in during the 18-19 craziness of, I mean, rates were like sky high to penny. I seen trucks taking loads for less than $1 a mile.
Yeah.
And so, um, do you think though? So do you think that could that could be a good way to check your temperature on that though? Like, if okay, so if you're getting if you want to know if it's capacity and that's what's driving your business right now in 2018 or 2019, well, 2019 last year, or 2020, when the rates were like less than $1 a mile, if you were losing money, then it's, you see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, so no, I see what you're saying. So yes, I mean, for me personally, and just before we get into that, good morning, Jeff. Good
morning
morning,
everybody. Yes,
Gary,
yes,
and good
sorry.
morning, Anthony. Welcome, my friends. Welcome to the show. Jeff says Central's one of the big hitters over the last several years that have gone under this. I mean, yeah, Jeff, 100%. The list is huge. I mean, if you take the 2019 to
Right.
today,
Oh
the list
man.
is huge. But if you look over kind of the last 12 months, there's been
Yeah, yeah.
very little. That's great
Yes.
English. Very few suppliers going out of business.
Yes.
But to get back to your question, I say 100% DJ. Like, I would honestly, regardless of just the business flowing in, any sales rep that doesn't have a long-term conversation with their customers now, I
Yeah,
think are going to be very disappointed. And here's why I say it, because
I agree.
regardless of what, like, if we don't, and then, we've talked about this, Jeff's jumped in on this, Gary's jumped in on this, we've got a lot of people watching the show that jump in on this same thing. But if we don't fully understand the goals of our customers and what our customers truly want, we think right now we've got this great relationship with them because we're speaking with them every day, we're booking freight with them. We might just be that one that's been able to help them out now. But what are the mandates moving forward? And I'll give you a perfect example, okay?
Yep.
In 2018, when ELD hit, um,
Yes. I remember that.
I landed an astronomical amount of new customers, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Having the conversations with them throughout 2018 about, like, what's the mission here? What's the goal? What's the mission? The new customers that I had going, like the customers that I had before 2018 hit, I we always had those conversations. The new ones, when 2019 was coming around and prices started dropping, and I called them back and I said, like, listen, I'm just curious to see, because we had all this business 2 months ago and now we don't have it anymore.
Hmm.
Have things changed? And they said, listen, we're being mandated to move freight as cheap as possible. And I can't tell you how many customers that came back to me, because you know me, my conversation is always long term dedication.
Yeah.
Like, let's do it right.
Absolutely.
And they
Yeah.
said,
Yeah.
like, I didn't want to come back to you, Dan, because I'm actually embarrassed that I'm being mandated to do this. So it's not, and
Well,
I
yeah, and
think this,
sometimes it's not their decision. I had customers,
well,
same thing.
that's where I was going.
Yeah, it feeds from the top, and yeah, they're being forced to do it. And so
Mm-hmm.
I had a customer, very similar situation. They're like, look, we literally just have to take the cheapest. I mean, they came straight out, and they didn't want to tell me either, because
Mm-hmm.
I'd take the same approach as you, and I think that's what led to, thankfully, my success, kind of blindly following through this. But yeah, it's yeah, yeah,
Well, and here's the thing, right? Is so if we look at the costs, and I mean, this is all coming back to why do your clients buy from you, everyone? So if you're wondering where this
yeah,
topic's gone,
yep,
I think this is kind of like the 30,000 foot view is, you know, right now, the reason we as salespeople might think our clients are buying from us might be completely different,
yeah,
right? So understanding like, okay, and I don't think it's unfair to ask this question. I think it's going to really create
mm,
some wicked vibrations inside a salesperson when I say ask your clients why
ask,
they buy from you. Like even new
absolutely,
clients, like I remember. I mean, here, let me tell you a story. So I was going after Mr. Safety Shoes, and so Mr. Safety Shoes in Canada is like a really good retailer for all kinds of safety shoes, right? Whether you're talking about like ones that look exactly like running shoes, you can almost play basketball in, and so very big across Canada, especially in Ontario, Mr. Safety Shoes. And for about 7 months, I was chasing them for in there. I mean, they were bringing in like 17 to 20 containers a month, and then distribution and dray and everything. It was a really big account, and finally got in with the lady. And I said, why is it that you chose to use me? And I don't know why it is. Like literally, the ink wasn't even dry yet on the proverbial contract. And I was like, why? And she says, she said, Dan, you always stayed up on market when over the 6 months that we've been speaking, when things were happening that you thought would impact my business, you let me know about it. She goes, like, I might have known about it the day before, I might have got told about it the next day. She goes, like, whether you told me before or after I knew, it was the fact that you showed a caring about my business, not just
mhm,
about our business. And there's a big difference between your customer's business and your business, right? Your business
exactly,
is, hey, I'd love an opportunity. Here's a little bit of information. You know what? Hey, why don't we get a load going? When we were in the fulfill stage. So if you look at my baseball diamond framework that I use, first base is always qualify, second base is find out why they buy. So when I found out why they bought as a corporation and why she bought as an individual, I just fulfilled that why for 6 months. Then it came in. And that was the answer was, when I said, like, why did you choose me over everyone else? And I think it's a
yeah.
valid answer, even for a new customer. Like I said, the ink wasn't even dry yet when
It's
I
a great
said,
question. It's a great question to ask any of your
yeah.
clients that you're working with. I mean, if you guys
Mhm.
haven't done that already, then you're missing the mark there.
Well, not only
That's
that, you're
gonna
missing the gold moving forward.
well,
Like,
absolutely.
think of the moving forward. Like, and for me, that's really all I was doing was I was saying, okay, if you say to me, it's the fact that I stayed in touch with you and I focused on their business as opposed to my business. What do you think I'm going to do to the next person? I'm going to amplify that shit to the 10th power,
Exactly. Yes, you're
right?
going to figure
And
out your
then when they
superpower.
close, it's
Those are your
why did you
superpowers.
choose me?
Going back to one of
What?
our old shows. I mean, those are your
Yeah,
superpowers. Why
yeah.
they buy from you, and you're not going to know that answer. We can guess. Oh, it's because I'm so nice. It's because I'm this or that. But you can need to ask them. They're going to tell you, and they'll tell you. They will. Even so, Dan. One thing, and a little, I guess, a little tip for anybody out there listening. One thing I do, especially with new clients, new customers. Is I always, after my second or third load, I'll always reconnect with my whoever the obvious decision maker is who I'm working with, and I'll give them a quick rundown of, hey, you know, I always like to meet with my clients after about this time, and just order of importance of, is it price, is it communication, or is it reliability? And those are kind of the three big things. Obviously, communication, reliability are going to come on the customer service side, but really, I'm just trying to get to find out, okay, what's the driving force behind their decision making? Is it price? Is that always number one? Because they're going to rank it for you. They'll say it before they even think what they're telling you. So put them in order: price, reliability, and communication. And if they say anything other than price first, I know that's the perfect match for me. If they say price first, I know that there are some hurdles that are there. But, and again, they're not dead right there, but you'll know, okay, why is it priced then? And then you're going to really have to dig deep down. Is it somebody above? Is it a mandate like Dan talked about, or is it just the way they've been doing it? And if it's the way they've been doing it, maybe you could change your mind. If it's the top down, that's when he's
100%. So
that's
there's a
when you
couple of
turn.
levels to that, DJ. I love that you brought that up. Um, I've always, well, not always. That's totally not true. Probably the last 7 years of my career, I developed 13 questions that I asked every shipper, every receiver, almost like a business audit, but a business audit for a new person walking in. You know what they like, what
Yeah,
they don't like, and I would always give that back to my customer after about 3, 4 loads. So
that's
I chose
perfect.
two
Yeah, yeah.
weeks. I actually chose 2 weeks or 5 loads. Those were my parameters that I
Okay.
worked under. And I would always reconnect with the customer again and say, okay, so here's kind of the report that we got from these shippers. So just so in case you're not aware, this is what they care about. This is what they need. These are kind of the shipping hours. Here's the variation from what we understood from you. Not sure if it was us or just a simple lines cross, but this is what they're really looking for. So here's kind of from them, and this is from this person that we
Yeah,
spoke to, and all that. And then I would go back and I'd ask, what are we doing right? What are we doing wrong? What can we improve on? So same scenario.
yeah.
Like everybody's
Same
got
thing.
their own
Yeah,
approach. It's just for me, those three questions are some of the three most dynamic questions we can ask, because we
absolutely.
get what our superpower is, why they buy from us, what are we doing right, what are we doing wrong, allows me to immediately turn on my creative mind and engage deeper in the account, right? Like, and here's I think where
What
a
one? It's
lot of
better to
people go,
go ahead.
sorry.
No, no, go ahead. Go ahead. I'll finish.
So
Go ahead.
here's where I think a lot of people go wrong is when things are wrong, it's not necessarily at a point where you're going to get a phone call, right? I truly believe that, because I don't think, listen, there's some customers that do, but most customers don't call for every little thing. But I also
Yeah.
know every little thing stacks up. So
Yes,
for
that's
me
yes.
asking, what am I doing wrong? I'm actually opening the door. And for the customer to say, okay, well, you know what? Like I wasn't gonna, and I don't know how many times I've heard this. Well, I wasn't gonna call you, but since
Yes,
you asked,
exactly.
bang.
Yep.
So you're kind of being, you're getting ahead, right? We always say stay
Yes,
ahead of the
exactly.
mitigation curve and stay ahead of
Yes.
the negative exposure. So for
Put
me,
out the
we're staying
fires
ahead. And
before.
then to
Put out the small
finalize it
fires
with
before they turn into a big
one
fire.
100%. And for me to finalize it is, what can we improve on?
Yeah.
Right? Now what I'm doing is I've got the good, the bad, and the ugly. And for lack of a better term, because I don't think improve on is bad, but you might hear, no, you're doing nothing wrong. And then what can I improve on? Where consciously they might not think it's wrong, but they would say, well, if now that you asked, I'd love for you guys to improve, or you and your team, or you to improve on X.
Yes.
And
Oh,
and
that's
I
huge,
think
guys. And that's
that's
huge, guys.
huge.
If you aren't
Hmm.
having those conversations with your clients, man, you're just selling freight. Let me just tell you that you're only
Yeah.
selling freight. You got to
100%.
have those
So we
conversations,
got
guys.
Anthony that says dropping gems. Thanks, Anthony. Gary says that Central's been had problems for years and never really pulled out since
Mm.
2009 and 10. So you mean say, Gary, that
Wow.
Central, from
Oh
when the
man.
economy collapsed, like that back that far, they've been kind of struggling. And so I'm surprised they made it through 2019 or 2019.
Yeah.
Jeff says, let's face it, guys, shippers have started taking care of the service providers that take care of them. This type of mandate will close their doors. In 2020, 3,000 trucking companies went out of business. In 2019, there were 1,000.
Wow.
Really? See, that number,
Wow.
Jeff, seriously surprises me, because, oh, maybe it was
Oh,
2020 when all we, I mean, I know there was I thought it was 2019, but maybe I'm getting my years mixed up. Like
Yeah,
COVID's just
I was
completely
gonna say,
whacked out my years. But
yeah.
I know there was at one point, like I know Freightways, Supply Chain, all these different magazines and news articles in logistics. Like every day there was another company going, two or
Oh my
three or four
gosh, yeah,
companies
yeah.
going out of business.
I
I
actually
thought
thought
that
that
was
was 2019
2019
as
though.
well. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Oh,
but
thanks
this
for bringing
whole
that to our attention, that Jeff.
yes,
Jeff has been asking this for years, 100%. And but Jeff, here's the thing, right? Is like,
well,
I
well,
guess
let's
all
go.
of us.
Let's go. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go, go.
I was going to say let's throw this caveat in there first. So that first question you asked was, why do they buy from you? Well, that's even kind of a trick question, because I think I have some customers who buy, or clients who have bought from me for one reason, but they always have their own reason. So it's always going to be different. So anybody looking for like that magic button or that magic word, uh, you're you gotta, in second base, if you're following Dan's thing, that's when you need to find out. But you're gonna find out from qualifying. You're gonna find out
Hmm.
from qualifying why they're gonna buy
Hmm.
from you. So
Hmm.
it could be a multitude of different reasons. It could be because we offer this LTL thing, or we do this, or we do that. It could be anything, but it's their reason, and our job's to find out why. And
Well, if you think about it like
and
this, right? Go ahead.
no, I was just going to say, and if, basically, we're solving their problem with whatever. From us. In the end, we're just solving. Well, we found a problem that we had a
Yeah,
solution for.
yeah. Well, if you think about it, if you ask a question with all the options in today's market, why me?
Yeah.
Right? To me, I'm like, that is the number one question, because
Oh, yes.
that flows right into the second thing I wrote here, which is what makes you different. Well, the why me, the answer to that is what makes you different.
Yeah.
And you're
Exactly.
right, because what makes me different to this prospect is not going to be the same to this, is not going to be the same to this, right? But
Yeah.
once you have those kind of 3, 4, or 5 points, here's the thing: is we talked last week. I think it was Friday. We talked about content,
Yeah.
right? And how content really separates us from the crowd, even in today's market. Like everybody consumes content, everybody. And I honestly believe, again, like we talked about on Friday, if you don't think your clients are Googling you, then you're in trouble. If you don't think they're checking out your LinkedIn page and your LinkedIn profile,
That's it.
then I think you need to rethink. If you don't think they're stalking you on Facebook or Instagram, I think you need to rethink things. So what makes you different? If you come up with those 5 things, you can do your 5 posting topics. Like for me, it's sales
Yeah.
strategy, personal development, industry news, productivity, and stickability. Those are the 5 things I post about all week, every week. Those are the 5 things I create videos about. Those are really 5 things that this entire live session is always about. But
Absolutely.
think about it for a second. If you hear what makes you different, if you get those 5 things, that's your platform, right? So not only are you focusing on that, if you're trying to
Exactly.
attract customers into your world to say, here's why my clients buy from me, those customers that are in tune with that are going to be coming into your world. You're going to be going right into the
Exactly.
number 3. How can you lead with that to get the right people on the bus? And so now what's happening is everything you post about is about those 5 things that customers say are the reason they work with you. So what's going to happen when prospects read it, when you make your calls or you send your emails or whatever your funnel is to get people into your sales sequence, however you do that, if you focus on those 5 things. So, hey, Mr. Prospect, have you ever
Exactly.
considered these as 5 major pillars for an asset or a supplier or an incumbent or a logistics provider? And you list off the 5 things that you're like top notch at, that everybody says is the reason they work with you. Hey,
Yep.
if any of these 5 resonate with you, I can help you. Let's connect. Like, to
Bam.
me, that's a seriously qualifying email, because if it
Absolutely.
doesn't resonate with them, and this is what I consider one of the most beautiful things about sales, is we're selling a service, right? If I have
Absolutely.
5 things that is the backbone of the service and value I provide to my customers, anyone who doesn't see those 5 things as value to them, I'm like, Bingo, perfect.
Yeah.
I just freed up time
You're
to
you're
speak with
just going
somebody
to
that
keep
cares
doing that.
about these. Exactly. So now I'm not bringing in tire chasers
Yeah.
because I understand why my clients buy from us. So even just that question, just to make us feel good, DJ, like, oh, why do they buy from me? Oh, because you do this. And it, like, don't get me wrong. Like, listen, it creates dopamine,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
creates serotonin, it creates us
absolutely.
feel good.
You start to give
100%.
yourself a little pat on the back. I mean, you're the one who
100%.
did it, but yeah,
But
no,
look at you've got your full list of superpowers. Now you've got what you can post about to keep attracting those like-minded people in your world. And number 3, the biggest bonus of that is when you start working with customers, you get a reference letter based on those 5 things. Now, if a customer comes back and says, you know what, the fact that you guys are always in tune with what's happening in the market, and you give me pricing updates, whether it's good, bad, or ugly, you help me stay ahead. Hey, FYI, there's going to be a general rate
yeah,
increase here and here, whatever the case may be. Now you get reference letters on those 5 strategic moves. Now you're posting about the 5, talking about the 5 on sales calls, and you can provide backup that you've supplied those 5 key factors to a company. Now you have a succinct message all the way through your sales sequence. And when things come in that aren't in those 5, you need to pass. Like, to me, that's the nucleus of everything. If you don't fully understand why your customers buy from you, I think you're like, and I know we say it all the time, brother. You're like 2 ships passing in the
yes.
night. You know what I mean?
And
And
you're going to. I mean, what you just gave everybody there. If everybody didn't catch that, I'll break it down real quick. So 5, talk to every customer that you've ever sold something to, every customer that is currently working with you, and figure out what those 5 things are, and then master those 5 things. Master those 5 things, and there's your superpowers, and
mhm,
there's your Dan. uh, Dan's show, Dan post, everything you see from is exactly what he's talking about, and that's where we connect, and that's how we connected, because we both believe those same 5 things are the
mhm.
keys. Really, we're not saying that is the keys for everybody. We're not saying that's the keys, but you got to figure out your 5 things. But figure out your 5 things and master them.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
I mean
And once
that
you
was huge.
do,
That's
everything
huge.
opens
It's
up.
huge. Yeah.
You think about it, right? So we look at sales pages. We look at marketplaces like Amazon, right? And you think about how this works, like algorithms, whatever, blah blah blah. We can get into so much technical babble, but
Yeah.
here's how we know it works. Okay, so Amazon's built-in sales and marketing engine says, hey, if you like this, you'll love these other things. So you're on looking at baking machines. Then all of a sudden, Amazon's sending you, hey, what about these pie plates, or what about these, or what about these pie lifters, or utensils, or things to make your baking easier, because they've identified that you like that stuff, right? It's like everything. So with that, they know there's a higher rate of purchases because you've already looked for something similar in that market. So if
Exactly.
you are really good at strategically reducing costs, right? Like, just, I know it's a broad topic in our industry, but strategically reducing costs.
Hmm.
If you have that conversation and people engage in that conversation, they too are interested in strategically reducing costs,
Yep.
right? Excuse me. I had too many monsters this morning already. But yeah, just in case Monster's listening, y'all,
Yeah,
coming back
yeah.
to you once again,
Hey
Monster.
guys, yeah,
So,
please.
um, right. So now what's
I'm
happening
drinking
is,
water today.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, like, I mean, look at, like, and I know, DJ, we're on the same page, but just like,
Yeah,
just simplistically thinking about it in this sense, right? If if we um bring in 100 sales leads, all of which are in tune with one of the 5 things we talk about, we're going to be able to bring that sales sequence closer to the final result, the home run, which is closing it, because they're in tune with what we offer or
Definitely.
what we're best at. And in today's day and age, like Jeff said earlier, shippers are looking for people that can take care of them long term, right?
Yeah.
The caveat to that is if you don't have the question, the conversations, and somebody else is having the conversations because you can't. And I'm sorry, I don't care who you are listening, watching. I don't care what kind of company you're in. You can't do everything as well as somebody else can. Like there's areas that you're good at and some aren't good at. So if you have a big
Absolutely.
shipper doing tens of millions of dollars a year, you're probably not 100% of their business because they're going to have people in different categories. But if the people in the other categories are having these conversations, the perspective most likely will switch to, well, maybe Dan is more transactional because he's not having these conversations with me where DJ is. And
Yep.
that's where I would say,
Okay,
they,
let's take out the transactional though. I mean, let's just put it in words that they're going to feel. In that situation, I think most clients are thinking, who did you say transactional? I think you said you were transactional in that. So they're
Mhm.
going to think Dan doesn't care and DJ does care. That's
Yeah, yeah.
literally the transactional. Get that out there.
DJ wants
People want to know that
long-term
you care,
experience.
guys. They want to know that you care, and you actually have to care. You can't just say you care. You have to actually care.
Yeah,
And they're
you're
gonna know,
absolutely right.
and they're gonna know that. They're gonna know that the transactional or not. But even better. So we use this, and this is retail. I know we're getting off of the out of the logistics a little bit, but you'll see where it kind of ties in, and it just comes down to a lot of it is personality. It could be personality. It could be just the way you say certain things. It could be the way you look. It could be a lot of different things. Now, this is
Mhm.
in person though. But so retail, we talked about and sold, and when I was managing kiosk for a cell phone place, we would, we're in kiosks. So obviously, it's people are in the mall. They're there to spend money, but they're not necessarily there to spend money with you. So you got to try to figure out why and get them to come spend money with you. So we used to do and teach something called tag team selling, which is huge because the reason it's so big, and I've seen it firsthand, I used to preach it religiously, but never really seen it as strongly as I seen it one day. I was doing a home show selling this crazy cool custom patio thing. My cousin was helping me. We look almost the same. He's a little bit different. He's Puerto Rican, so he looks a little more
Mhm.
different than I do. But same height, same everything else, kind of a little bit different personalities. I'm more low key back. He's in your face, kind of loud. This couple came up to us at the show. We're doing a show, and she literally just goes from him and goes to me, and he's saying the same exact thing I am, the same exact thing, everything, but she just didn't like him for some reason. Don't know
Mhm.
why. It was the same product, the same everything, the same. He gives just as good customer service, says everything that I was saying, but there was something about him that she just didn't click, didn't like, didn't
Mhm.
vibe. I don't know what it was. No clue. We'll never know. We didn't ask. But you're gonna have those situations, and when you feel that, that's not a good fit either.
Oh, 1,000%. I mean, just look at what we're doing, DJ.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Right.
There's going to be people that like this show,
Oh,
and there's going to be people that are like, I don't have time for this. Like,
it's not gonna
and
be
we've got some serious listeners like Jeff, like Anthony,
Jeff.
like
Yes,
Ryan,
Jeff,
like Gary,
Gary,
like
Ryan, all you guys.
Hunter,
Thank you
like
guys
all these
so much,
people
man.
that like
Oh yeah.
Austin, all these other people,
Yeah. Awesome. Yes.
um, that deliver massive value just in the comments that they
Yes.
share,
Thank.
just in the conversation we have. Some people aren't going to like it.
Yeah.
Like this is the big thing, but
It is.
that's not the people we want on the bus anyways. Here's what we talk about on the show. Here's your 5 things we talk about on the show. Here's what we deliver on. Here's what everybody in this comment section, and every day that we have this show, our comments get more and more and more, meaning we're driving more traction, more people are hearing about it. The right people are getting on the bus.
And
And I think
for
as a
that,
sales rep, you're like, I've been down the road where stressed out to the point of pneumonia. I've been down the road where I feel like, you feel like your internals are crashing and you're dying from the stress in this industry. And I fully, fully, fully believe in my heart and soul with every ounce of my body, It's because I had the wrong people on the bus. Like if you wake up in the morning and you're not excited to get to the office, then
Yeah.
seriously think about how your day is progressing, right?
Yeah.
Think about why your clients buy from you. Ask the questions to your clients, because I can almost guarantee it, just as sure as it's going to get dark tonight, the reason you're not happy is because you got the wrong people on the bus. Now,
Yes.
that could be the wrong people from every end. And I'm talking from your team, from your company, from your managers, from the way you sell, from your customers, because you want to get more customers, but you got these customers that take up 95% of your time and give you 5% of your revenue. Like there's all sorts of different levels. I mean, I remember driving to work, pitch
Oh my
blackout,
goodness.
listening to Sam Crawley, Every Day is Saturday. And he's saying, like, why do you want to go to work doing something you hate to impress somebody else? To like, what is the wording? But you go to work in the dark and you come home in the dark. And he was talking about winter in the Northeast, right? What we are facing right now, where,
Yeah.
and I mean, I guess it's winter everywhere, but where we are right now, it's like it only gets bright at 7:30 in the morning, and by
Yeah.
4:30 in the afternoon, it's
It's
dark, right?
start.
So if
You're ready to get
like
to bed.
you leave work, it's dark. You drive to work, it's dark. Like all these things, and
Yeah.
you start saying to yourself, like, you know,
I have
have you
good
ever
news
in your
though.
adult life looked in a mirror and thought to yourself, I'm not where I wanted to be right now? Like,
Oh,
if you've done that, it's time to stop. And one of the and I'll bring it back to the topic that we chose for today, DJ.
yep.
Why do you
Like,
deal with me? And when we, as salespeople, like if you've ever looked in the mirror, and I think we all have, I really do, where you said, like, I thought I'd be so much further ahead by now in my life, like just in anything, in business, in finances, in relationships, in spirituality, like in anything.
anything.
And I think it all comes back to we're so pulled in so many different directions, and just physically, mentally, it's like, but if we just focus, if we just focus and we say to ourselves, okay, here's 5 things I want to talk about. If any of my prospects don't want to talk about this, they're not the right person for me. And I know this is going to sound crazy, and I know. Trust me, even
Uh-huh.
if they have 50 loads a week, because that 50 loads a week, you're thinking the money, but think the mental health.
Yes.
Think the ability. Like, I mean, I've lived this where I've
You might be rich,
wanted
but you
to.
won't be happy. you
No,
might
and
you
even
might be
more than
rich.
that, DJ, you're going to be physically torn to shreds. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know for how many years I was tied to this friggin' thing, like tied to it. One of my greatest joys comes with putting this in the office and not thinking about it, and going and just sitting with my family and having like an hour conversation at and after dinner, like just no phones. It could be ringing off the hook, and I'm like, I don't care. And being able to sit with my wife and watch a movie or something and not look at the phone. And then there's other times where you're looking at it, and it's like just to, and that's like when you bring the right people on the bus, when you have the right customers, gosh,
Yeah.
your world changes. Like fully change. I know some of you, it might sound crazy because you're in the
Oh,
eye of the storm, right? When we're
yes.
in the eye of the storm, and you might not have a business today that you truly love. You know, I would, if you are struggling, or if you have any of this friction, or you're not quite settled, you know what I mean? Like an internally thing, like we all know when we're not
You're not
settled,
done
right?
yet. Yep.
Yeah,
You're not
yeah.
done yet.
Then
I got
ask
good
your
news.
your customers the questions. Ask them, why do you do business with me? And think to yourself, give yourself 5 big categories that you want to be a value in. And think of those before you make the call. Then make the call. And when customers start lining up with kind of those core values, that will tell you how far your vibration, for lack of a better word, is off. Like if we're going to talk vibrationally, because we all have vibrations that we're attracted to, right? Like
Exactly.
like
Oh yeah. That
perfect example is
I believe that to my
I'll
core.
yeah, I'll hear a snowmobile and it will immediately get my attention because I'm in tune with that sound.
Yeah.
Whereas you might hear a snowmobile and you might not think anything. You might think it's chainsaw, you might think it's everywhere. But I don't care how far away it
What?
is. I know the difference between an ATV, a motorcycle, a snowmobile, and chainsaw. Some people don't, but that's a vibration I'm tuned into. Now that's a
Yep.
very low level conversation, but
But it's the same.
In my
It's the same.
business, there's what, 5.7 million salespeople in logistics and transportation out there. I sell logistics and transportation training. I have five things, like five critiques or whatever, that all salespeople that come into my programs must pass, right? And it's not an ego thing. It's just that I don't want to wake up in a business that I love today. I don't want to wake up in a month from now and hate it because I brought the wrong people on the
Yeah.
bus. And here's the
Yep.
last thing, DJ, and I'll shut up because I feel like
No, no. No,
I've
you're
been
good. You're good.
capitalizing on this conversation. But the biggest thing is we've done it to ourselves. So y'all need to understand that if you don't love your business, it's because you chose to bring the wrong people on the bus. You ask Jeff, you know, you know,
Or you're in the wrong
you
bus.
ask Gary, you ask Ryan, you ask Anthony, you ask any of these people on here. Like, guys, have you ever brought the wrong customers in? Yes. Was it a nightmare? Yes. But you know what? If you're in that eye of the storm right now and you can't see it, just do yourself a favor. Okay, 2022 is my year where at the end of 2022, I want to have all the right people on the bus,
Yes.
because this industry, this career is the best career on the planet. I don't care what career it is. Some people say, well, healthcare. Yeah, but healthcare wouldn't mean anything if we didn't get it to market. Like, let's be realistic, right? To me, this is the best industry on the planet. To me, this is the industry where we can help the most because we help
Absolutely.
everyone else's ideas become reality. Because you can have the greatest product in the world. If it doesn't get to shelves and doesn't get sold, you got nothing. So
Unless
we
it gets on the truck.
facilitate those goals. We are the biggest goal facilitator in the world, in my opinion, in logistics transportation. When you deliver quartz stone, you're facilitating the goal of somebody saving 30, 50, 80, $90,000 in renovating their first kitchen. If you deliver
Yep.
auto parts with every single delivery, you're facilitating that goal of somebody buying their first brand new car. If you're in construction, you're facilitating the goal of somebody buying their first brand new home. If you're in healthcare, you're facilitating the goal of people getting vaccinated, of people getting insulin, of people getting, whatever it is, getting rid of their headache. The goal is to get rid of their headache so that migraine can go away and they can get back to work. Like, these are all the facilitation points that we in logistics anchor into the ground,
Yep.
right? Like, without us, there's no Christmas. Like, I remember the year, and DJ, I remember vividly. I remember the year when this industry hooked me. I got plus mark wrapping paper out of Afton, Tennessee, and I started delivering like 10, 15 loads a day into Walmart, right? And I remember walking into Walmart, and I had just, like, the night before, slept at the
I love
office
it.
because my senior VP and myself, Mark Renault, and we were loading trucks until 4 o'clock in the morning, like hand bombing trucks from our warehouse till 4 o'clock in the morning for deliveries. I slept under my desk, got up, did my day, went home, showered, went out because I had to go shopping. I walked into Walmart, and there's the wrapping
There
paper I
it is.
touched like 7 hours earlier. And I was like, and I'm watching people just whoosh and like, and it's gone, whoosh, and it's gone. I'm like, I've just facilitated them giving the gifts and joy and to their children. Like,
Yes. When you
that
have the
is a
passion
major
to think, yeah.
responsibility.
But when you have the passion to think of it that way in whatever you guys are doing out there, that's when you know you're in the right thing. That's when you know
Yeah.
you're there. The good news is, guys, I will tell you, so anybody listening to us right now that, yeah, I'm not lining up. Anthony, thank you for joining, and thank you for all the feedback too. And Jeff, I was told. Okay.
I was told you have a lot of hair in your head. That's rare in logistics. You must love what you do. Laugh out loud, because DJ's got a ton. Hey,
Give
DJ.
a little
Hey,
sneak
I'm
peek.
sorry to interrupt you, but two
No,
things
no.
here. Maggie, you are so
Uh-oh.
right. And y'all want to look at that last name. Y'all want to look at that
Uh-oh.
last name. What?
Oh,
Maggie,
man.
welcome. Hey, you're absolutely right though, Maggie. You know what? You're only as good as the company you keep. And here's the reality. Your customers, you keep that company 8 to 10 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? And you're absolutely
Yeah.
right. Anthony, I brought on a wrong customer and I hated it. You're absolutely, and that probably goes right in hand with the Anthony's comment of saying that he's there right now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Ryan,
yeah.
thanks, brother. Banging show this morning, boys.
Oh,
Thanks,
man.
Ryan.
Thank,
And
thank
Anthony,
you,
if
guys.
there's anything I can suggest is just make yourself a plan. Like, and here's the thing is
Figure out
DJ
those
and I
five
will never
things.
tell you
Figure out those five
100%.
things. Yeah.
Yeah. But DJ and I will never tell you just drop all your customers because you need to make a
No.
living. But
No.
now, and this is where G.I. Joe and I know some of y'all don't even know who G.I. Joe is, but this is where G.I. Joe are like the kings and queens and princes and princesses. They are awesome because they said knowing is half the battle. Like I know, I look at my customer list and I'm like, okay, no, no, no. But I understand there's a strategy. What strategy am I going to implement to replace them in 2022? And my mission for the next 12 months. Now you might complete it, Anthony, in 4 or 5, but give yourself 12 months to say, I want to
Exactly.
have the most ideal business ever. And if you operate with that mentality, how do I get the most ideal business ever? Don't worry about if you don't have all the steps or all the way. Just, I want my
Set,
most ideal
set,
business at the end of 2022.
set long-term goals. Work like they're set for tomorrow. Set long-term
Yes,
goals, but work like they're set for tomorrow.
100%. Damon, welcome back, brother. Have a
Damn,
value
yeah.
system for your customers. That is absolutely right. A
Hey,
value ladder.
we want to let them in on Wednesday? I
Yeah,
mean,
you know what? We should let all
we
y'all
have
in on
to.
Wednesday before we leave today. So, okay, you know what? So Wednesday, everybody mark their calendars. Now, here's good, Anthony. I'm glad you're on it. Um, so and yes, you're absolutely right. Values align with yours 100% because that's
Yeah.
really we are the ones doing our
There's more
outbound
than
calls,
enough
right?
people to go
Like
around,
Damon,
more than
you're
enough
absolutely right.
business.
Exactly. Well, we're doing the outbound calls. We're
Yeah,
the ones that
exactly.
have the opportunity to choose who we work with.
Yeah.
We really are. And some salespeople don't, they're like, no, I'm just going to get business because,
I just need a customer.
everybody,
I
there's
just
so
need a
much
friend.
pressure and
I
I
just
need to
need a
put
lot.
numbers.
Yeah,
And it's like,
yeah, yeah.
I would much rather see, now, again, different people that like there's companies out there know I need numbers, but I would much rather have a salesperson working under me or with me if I was in a managerial position or whatever. And I'd rather have a salesperson come in and say, you know what, I know I don't have any numbers now, but I want to get the right people on the bus the first time. I'd be like, dude, take twice as long. I'm all good. My friend, take, guy, girl, whatever, take twice as long. I'm
Yeah,
all good. Don't really care because I'd
yeah.
rather you have the right people on the bus that makes, because if we're talking career again, right, DJ, we talk job, career, like we're
Again,
talking career. Would you not want to wake up every morning loving what you
love what
do
you
if you're
do.
going to do it for the rest of your life? Like to me, if you don't,
Probably should.
that's even more of a definition of insanity than trying to do the same thing and
Oh
expect
man.
different results.
I mean,
But
I hate to put it so blunt, but if you're in a job and you're waking up and you hate it, that literally you're looking at the rest of your life until you retire doing that same thing. I'm
well,
saying, oh, you
like
don't want that, guys.
but how
You don't
many
want that. Your
people,
life is over.
DJ?
Then think about it that way. Your life is over.
Oh, I
Find
would be very surprised.
find your
Go,
crew.
if we should, you and I should both do this, where we should take a survey of 100 people each
Okay.
and just, do you love your job? And we'll have
Yeah,
to
yeah,
figure that out because I'd love to deliver the results, but I
yeah,
can
yeah,
almost guarantee it'd be probably, pretty horrible. But
yeah.
so
Big man.
Wednesday, okay,
Yeah.
everybody. So Wednesday, DJ and I are doing the first ever live marathon on
Oh,
LinkedIn. Now, when I say marathon, don't y'all think I'm running 15 miles because that ain't happening. When I say marathon is from 9 a.m. till 4 p.m. DJ and I have over 14 guests joining us. Now, our guests that are joining us are the likes of Brian Biro, America's breakthrough coach, Andrea
Friggin'
Waltz,
awesome.
Dean Crook. We've got Andrew coming back. We've got so we've got who else? We've got we got Sarah coming back. We've got Sarah Barnes Humphrey. We've got Nicole Glenn coming. We've got Shaylin Dixon from Alliance Logistics coming. We've got who else do we have? We have Rico Rakoski coming, Choice Pioneer. I mean, we've got
Yes.
14 amazing. We got Sharon Sire coming.
What about
We've got Nigel coming back from
Jeb?
the UK. He's pond hopping first thing in the morning to come back. So we've
Yes,
got
that's right.
14 guests throughout the
Oh
whole
my God,
day.
I forgot
We are
Nigel.
streaming live from 9 a.m. till 4 p.m. nonstop. So
So,
what
guys,
we are
whatever you
doing
want to hear.
is I'm going to be putting out posts today and tomorrow with kind of a schedule for y'all to mark down on your calendars. You can email me info@dandeegan.com, and I can email you that calendar. Make sure to connect with us. We're going to be posting throughout the day saying, hey, we're live with this person now. We're live with that person now. Jump in. Da, da, da. So it is going to be an insane day because we're going to bring so many variations of topics. I mean, from choice all the way over to joy and the ROI of kindness, all the way over to there's no overachievers, to Andrea Waltz's you have to get through no to get to yes, to Dean Crook's market update. I mean, we are DJ.
Listen,
It is going to be an insane day.
This is one of those stage events that you really, you better bring your notebooks, bring some writing utensils, and bring your hats and be ready.
Yeah. It's going to be insane.
Oh, it's going to be so much
So,
fun.
Anthony, I'm working in the oil field and trying to start a freight brokerage. It's hard. Yes, absolutely, my friend. You know, Anthony, even more importantly, if you're doing that, meaning like your sole focus can't just be on freight, even more important, get the right people on the bus. You know, my friend, if you want, connect with me offline. I can give you a bunch of different tools and
I,
strategies and stuff.
I was
Connect
going to
with
tell
either
you this.
DJ or I. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to
Connect
tell you the
with
same
one of
thing.
us.
I might have some people if you're in Texas or somewhere
Yeah.
around there.
Well, you know what? And I mean, here's the thing. It's like just connect with DJ and us offline because
Yeah,
even more importantly, you really need to get the right people on the bus because you don't have time
exactly.
for tire
Oh yeah,
kickers, my friend. Right?
yeah. Absolutely.
And Anthony says he'll be there. You know, Wednesday is going to be insane,
God,
DJ. It's just going to be awesome. So I know we're running
it's
real
going to be
late
fun.
here, my friends.
So
We're about 6 minutes over our allotted. Now, DJ, I know you're on the road.
on the road,
And
I got one. Okay, so this
okay,
came from this crazy guy. I'm giving a shout out to my guy Ken BNI. He's a tax guy. If you guys need help with taxes, especially if you're dealing with the IRS at all, he can help you with that. But he always loves to get out there and he says this, and I think it fits perfectly with what we talked about today. So this is it, guys. Some will, some won't. So what? Who's next?
that is awesome. All right, everybody, have
Yes,
yourself a
guys.
remarkable day. Now, for all of you that are watching, if you see a pause happening after this, is because DJ and I have been notified. I believe it was Maggie that told
It was
us
my wife. Yeah,
that the
Maggie.
screen cuts off as soon as we hit end. It doesn't actually continue.
Yeah.
So we're going to go silent for about 5 seconds.
What?
You're salespeople, you hate silence. And then we'll end.
Bye, guys.
I feel like we're voguing or something.